Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning, Jen. Thanks for coming back to join us after 35 days.
Good to be back.
35 days?
It was a long time.
Wow.
I missed you guys.
Well, welcome back. I didn't really miss the guy across from me that much.
Wow.
I did go to the Pacquiao fight the other night. I can't tell you how many Undisputed fans came up and said, "We miss you beating up on Shannon this week." That's exactly what they said. It must have been dozens, hundreds.
Well, I was having me a good old time in Atlanta.
Were you?
Yeah, I was at Fellowship Cigar Bar.
Were you?
Cam Newton's got a little spot.
Really?
Me and his dad, Cecil, was having us
Well,
a good
you've
old
just
time.
given up all your fitness regime? I don't know.
I know,
You
Skip,
just
I was
given
just
up.
there.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I was partaking.
Okay, yes, you were.
Annoying.
You were.
I had a good old...
Secondhand smoke.
Had a good old
Right?
time.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, you beginning to Skip."
Yeah.
Say, "Man, when y'all
Really?
go?
Nobody
Man, when you
said
gonna be
that.
back on again?" I said, "I'll be back Monday to bust him up again."
Well,
good.
good luck.
Well, the day is here, and we have a lot to get to on today's show. Is Aaron Rodgers no longer an elite quarterback, and is Manny Pacquiao back to being an elite boxer? But
really?
let's start with Skip's old friend, number 2. Kawhi Leonard
Here we go.
has been in the headlines a lot for his recent decisions. He decided to come to L.A., but to the Clippers and not the Lakers. ESPN's Brian Windhorst says he's heard complaints the Lakers actually feel they, quote, got played by Kawhi during free agency. He also decided over the weekend to go to Manny Pacquiao's big fight in Vegas, and he took a pic with the champ.
Why?
But Skip, you know, you were at the fight
I
as
was.
well.
Yeah.
So are you surprised Kawhi was there?
So, Ginny and Shannon,
Yes.
I did take Ernestine to the fight. I don't know why, but I tried. She wasn't real comfortable with all this, but we settle into our seats, and I glance up at the big board up there, and I see number 2, and I think, is that old footage? Could he really be here? Because he doesn't come to these kind of things.
Yeah,
I followed him for 7 years in San Antonio, and he lived in the shadows. He never would have been caught dead at any event of this magnitude. And so I turned to Ernestine. I said, "Is that really?" And she looks down the road. She said, "He's right there. He's right there." She still loves him. I can't stop her. She just loves him. She's a big Spurs fan. So I think, I don't know what he's doing. And then I look up, and over me looms this rather tall man, distinguished looking, well-dressed, coat and tie. And he says, "Mr. Bayless, I'm the uncle." And I'm like, You're Uncle Dennis.
No way.
I'm Uncle Dennis. He says, "Yes." And now he's chuckling as he says all this. He says, "Kawhi sent me over to remind you that his name is Kawhi Leonard."
Why?
Oh. So I said, "Well, I appreciate that." And I was chuckling in kind back to him. It was all good-natured. It was all jovial. But I said, "I'm sorry, but he will always be number 2 to me." We had a nice exchange, and he went on about his business. And I sat back and I thought, man, so there's number 2. He's having his big coming out party in public tonight. And he's not just in any seat. He is in the catbird seat at the fight. He's in position A, the TV celebrity seats, which are about halfway down row 2, right in the direct line of fire of the TV cameras. So he is saying, "I have arrived.
Yes.
This is my coming out party,
Yes.
and I am here." And he even brought his longtime girlfriend, who I've rarely seen in public, next to him.
Very few people have rarely seen her.
Rarely seen. And they do have a child together. God bless them. But again, I didn't know any of this backstory until the last month or so. What is the message? What is my takeaway?
Yeah, what is it?
Uncle Dennis wanted me to know, and number 2 wanted the world to know. They are now in the power position. They are now basically running the National Basketball Association. They did take everyone for a ride, including LeBron's Lakers and his old team, the Raptors. They bamboozled everyone. They pulled one over on everyone. And now they're saying to you, "We got this. And we are going to flaunt this now because we have come out of the shadows into the spotlight. And again, he signed a shorter-term deal with the Clippers, so he's still got the league sort of dangling by the thread that he controls.
He definitely
right?
has the Clippers dangling by a thread.
He does. I got this. So I was shocked on 2 counts that number 2 came out of the shadows and that Uncle Dennis came over to me just to remind me that, hey, we won. We got this. We got you. We got everybody in the media. I think they played the media.
They did.
Like a big old fiddle, right?
They leaked just enough information to see what was going to get out, Skip. The Lakers is a done deal. We heard people, 99.9,
Wow.
99.5, he's going to Toronto. The Clippers are completely out.
Okay. So, have you forgiven him for all this as a Laker fan that you have become?
Skip, there was really nothing to forgive. I would have loved to have Kawhi. I'm not going to sit and say it's because now he's with the Clippers. I wouldn't have loved to have Kawhi because I would have. But with that said, I agree with everything you just said. And because when I look at it, Kawhi is on a new level in terms of public recognition. Skip, he was a Finals MVP before. He was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year before. But he did not swing the pendulum like he just did for the last...
What did you always say? He played for Team Broccoli, right?
He did.
Well.
And maybe he settled into that role. Maybe that was never him. Maybe that was a role he settled into because that was expected of him. That's what Tim Duncan did. That's what Tony Parker did. That's what Manu did. They were the stars. They were the celebrities, and they didn't seek attention. How can Kawhi come in as a rookie, 15th, I think it was the 15th overall pick, and upset the apple cart? Said, no, I can't do that. But now, Skip, even though when he won all those previous awards, Skip, he wasn't thought of like he is now. Like you said, he's a new power player. He says, you know what, LeBron, KD, I'm on you guys' level. Now, he probably always thought that to himself.
Maybe.
Because like, hey, I did win Finals MVP against you, LeBron. I was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year with Kevin Durant and LeBron in the league in their primes. But guess what? Look what I just did. I did something nobody else thought could be done because while you two teams over there, were waffling like I'm coming here, I'm coming there, little did you know, Skip Bayless, I'm in the shadows. I'm lurking, and I'm about to make something happen that's going the earthquake, Skip, that we thought we felt that night.
Was that?
That wasn't really a seismic shift. It was a seismic shift in the NBA because what he did, nobody saw this coming, Skip. We kept asking, why won't he make a decision? If he's going to the Clippers or whomever he's going to, why won't he do this Sunday? Why won't he do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Because the Clippers did not have in place what he needed them to have in place. And once they could swing the pendulum and snag Paul George, boom, it happened. Once they got Paul George, look how fast it moved, Skip Bayless. That's why he couldn't move like we wanted him to move. He's like, well, I was going to do what I wanted to do. Granted, you were going to do what you wanted to do, but it'd been very, very interesting, Skip Bayless, if Sam Presti says, nah, we like Paul George. We're going to hold on to him. I would have loved to have seen what what Kawhi Leonard and Uncle Dennis, what would have been their next move. Because Sam Presti could have checkmated them. And then where do they go from there, Skip? So when I look at it, it was the heist of the century. Nobody saw this coming. And that's why everybody was speculating, oh, Toronto is going to be Lakers. Clippers are out of it. Because I kept saying, he wants to play with other great players because of the workload. Clippers ain't got anybody. They got Knight. Lou Williams is a great piece. Montrezl Harrell is a great piece. Pat Bev, but they're not superstars. I'm like, they're not getting Giannis. Paul George just signed. Jimmy Butler went to Miami. Who can they get? This is what he was talking about. Skip, the Lakers need to let this go. Look, it's like this, Skip. If you got a girlfriend, you can't get mad at the other girl tell you she won't give you her phone number. You already got a girlfriend. You got AD. So if you didn't get Kawhi, so be it. Let it go, Lakers. You're not getting Kawhi. Kawhi's decided to go to the Clippers. It's okay. If AD, LeBron, and what you have in place is not enough, that's on you.
Okay.
But I'm done with you guys talking about he played you. So what? It happens all the time.
He did play them.
He did.
He might have cost them some slightly better players, maybe significantly better, like B-listers, and they scrambled to get D-listers, but they did an excellent job with the D-list that was remaining.
Yes.
So I give him that. And I've told you before, and I'll say it one more time, I was impressed that number 2 chose not to play with LeBron and AD because it would have been over.
Yeah, it would have.
So he said, no, I want to compete against him. I need some help. I need Paul George.
Correct.
The 2 SoCal guys got to go to the Clippers, to the stepchild, and we're going to fight the Lakers because they were both Laker fans growing up, obviously. And it's still possible that in 2 years, both of them will, depending on what happens with LeBron and his career, where he's going, they might just go to the Lakers in a couple of years because that was their ultimate destiny in their hearts, I believe.
You know what, Skip? And I kind of like this better because what we've seen for the last 3 years, it was going to be, okay, who is Golden State going to beat in the finals? Now when we have big 2 pairings, we have AD and LeBron, and you have Paul George and Kawhi, and you have Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, or you have Giannis and Chris Middleton, and I really wish KD was healthy. KD and Kyrie. Skip, we got these big 2 pairings now. Now it makes it fun because for the previous 3 years, we know, and we always said this, barring injury, nobody's beating Golden State. Now, there's a realistic chance. We can say, oh, it's going to be Clippers, it's going to be the Lakers, it's going to be, I forgot James Harden and Russ. Oh, it's going to be Philly, it's going to be Bucks. We really don't know. And that makes it very, very interesting. And when was the last time, Skip? Here we are. Teams have already started going to training camp in football. When was the last time the NBA dug this much into an NFL season? We've never seen anything like this.
We're
Skip.
deep in July, and we're starting this show with number 2. And now back to number 2. In my situation, I will also say this. I would have been slightly more impressed if on Saturday night at the Pacquiao fight, he would have come over by himself, not send his uncle over.
Yeah, he's sending them folks for you.
Yeah, send folks.
Yeah.
But if he had come over and said, hey, just want to remind you, my name is Kawhi Leonard, I would have, okay, you got me, but you're still going to be number 2 to me.
No.
Okay, but he sent Uncle Dennis. I had never even seen a picture of Uncle Dennis, so would I recognize him? No. His name is Dennis Robertson. And he was able to operate in the shadows as his representative, number 2's, but not his agent. So Dennis Robertson didn't have to play by the rules that other agents are governed by within the confines of the NBA. Am I right about that? Did he not bamboozle? Did he not offend? Did he not alienate some people in Toronto and with the Lakers?
Yes.
Did he not, according to ESPN, ask both Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka I don't know if they helicoptered or drove all the way out toward, where was it?
Thousand Oaks.
Yeah. To meet with him just so he could be in the vicinity, that post-meeting he could go right over to talk to Paul George.
Probably was already in the hotel where he was at.
He might have been waiting for that. Okay, is that not the ultimate disrespect to pay to Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, especially to Jeannie, right? Okay, so that's all emanating from the power player who, according to a lot of my NBA sources, is Dennis Robertson, not number 2. That, again, he is the uncle, I think, on the mother's side. It's a complex relationship that I'm not sure of. But the point is, Kawhi lost his father early. He got murdered in Compton at the car wash. Yep. But the point is, Uncle Dennis has run his business affairs and his league affairs for the last couple of years, I would say.
It probably started, it didn't start the season before the injury. So in that season, that's when it started. He took over. And I guess that was when, all of a sudden this started happening, when they started working behind the scenes.
Okay.
How are we going to get up out of here?
So I think he got away with, quote unquote, near murder on the NBA front, so to speak, where you're operating in a gray area. You can get away with that an agent would get disbarred for some of the activities that went on
Yeah.
with Toronto, with everybody.
Well, we hear the stories and we don't know, we can't confirm this, Skip, is that Uncle Dennis was asking for things, or Kawhi was asking for things. He knew Toronto. See, Skip, if I don't want to be somewhere, I just make the demand so outrageous, outlandish, that I know you're going to say no. Therefore, it makes it easier for me to say, okay, well, I appreciate it, and I get to move on. Because of some of the things. Now, I haven't been able to pin down anything. Well, what was he asking for? And for me, I've always asked Skip, why the hell does he need an interview with Toronto? He just spent 1 year interviewing Toronto. I know for a fact that the Toronto Raptors let Kawhi Leonard and his daughter ride on the team plane. That's not conjecture. That's not innuendo. That's fact.
Okay.
They let him have whatever he wanted. They let Uncle Dennis come and go as he saw fit. Fact. So what do they need to tell you to make you to want to stay when they've given you? Oh, you want some of your medical staff to come? Have at it. You want to sit down back to back? You don't want to play? Good. How many more? Load management? 22. Bruh, take what you need. And you need another meeting to do what?
To keep Plan B on the back burner. That's all. You just need to keep them hanging on just in case you can't get a second star to go with you to the Clippers. He wanted to go to the Clippers from the start.
But he also needed to play Toronto and the Lakers against the Clippers. Because if the Clippers thought he was going back, there's no way they're going to do what they did. They had to have they needed to feel that, man, if we don't do this, we're going to lose Kawhi. So not only I'm going to give Toronto the last meeting, knowing good well that he wasn't going back. He was never happy. He was cool with the team. He liked, but he was never happy in Toronto. And anybody that tells you otherwise are lying. So this is how he had to skip. He had to play all three sides against each other in order to get to his ultimate destination. L.A., not the Lakers, the Clippers. And he did it masterfully.
He did.
And so hence the name Kawhi's are so safe. Because he pulled one off on us.
You pulled out that nickname.
Skip, he got us, Skip. He got us. You know what? And we thought all the time, because I was like, man, Skip, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it through the playoffs. I mean, you see the way he limping? And lo and behold, this how Kaiser did it, Skip. You remember at the end of the movie, he was limping or he was a limp, and all of a sudden...
Walking faster, faster.
He got up out of there with what? He was perfect.
Oh,
lo and behold.
Then you get all the flashbacks of, oh, that was that guy, that was that guy, that was that guy.
Yes.
Aha.
Yes.
Well, now I'm seeing the flashbacks, right? But here's my final bottom line takeaway. Be careful what you wish for, number two, because now you are in the catbird seat.
Sure.
Now you are the focal point of next year's National Basketball Association.
Yep.
The spotlight is firmly on you.
Yes.
This year, starting this past year, did anybody really think much of the Raptors?
No.
Did anybody expect them? No. Did you think much of the Raptors in the first round of the playoffs? Well, they were somehow managing to beat Orlando.
Right.
No.
And you remember, Skip, they got blowed out the first game.
Yep, they did.
And you're like, oh, man, Toronto, geez.
Get rid of them, right? Well, guess what? They are now the Los Angeles Clippers NBA favorites.
No, we the favorites.
No, we're
the favorites.
Second. But a lot of people have the Clippers as favorites.
Favorites.
I've got the Clippers as favorites.
I don't know why. Yeah. Oh, even after Uncle Dennis does still?
Yeah, I got them as the favorites because I want to see how number two responds as the favorite. He's never had this. Remember, he was the fourth wheel in San Antonio for most of those years, right?
Yes.
And now he is the first wheel.
Yes.
And Paul George is the second wheel, and it's a good basketball team, and Doc Rivers is arguably he's one of the top, three in the league? You could make a case he's top one in the league. Some people do.
He ain't better than Pop.
Well, I don't know about that. That's a close call.
He ain't better than Pop.
Well, I would much rather play for Doc than Pop. That's just me, but
yeah.
okay. Well, okay.
Can't
so
hide from that spotlight
here
anymore.
we go.
Oh, Uncle Dennis.
It's all on you.
Uncle Dennis rolled up.
I'm glad you met Uncle Dennis.
Kawhi said Uncle Uncle Dennis would roll up on you. Oh, Uncle Dennis rolled up.
He was.
Glad
He
came
had a
up
big
to you.
smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Plenty to say.
he did it
I'm
right.
sure.
Did it right.
That's good. Let's keep that relationship going. How about this? Is Aaron Rodgers getting disrespected? We'll discuss that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Madden 20 unveiled all of their player ratings last week, and surprisingly, Aaron Rodgers is the 7th-ranked quarterback with a 90 overall rating. This is a huge drop for Rodgers, who had a 98 rating last year. His 25 touchdown passes last season were 13th in the NFL. A designer for Madden explained the rating, saying Rodgers has been kind of taking a bit of a downhill slope the past 3 years. His accuracy has gotten progressively worse over the past 2 years, and while he might have been playing hurt, we can't really project how much that impacted him because we don't know everyone who was hurt and how much it impacted them on a week-to-week basis. So we can only base it off of the film we're seeing. We saw a different Aaron Rodgers the past 2 years than we had seen in years past. So Shannon, is this accurate?
No, I think it's too low. But I love the way he prefaced that, Skip. He might have been playing hurt. Well, if you don't think he's been playing hurt, why you bring it up? You never said that about Patrick Mahomes. You never said Patrick Mahomes might have been playing hurt. You never said that about Drew Brees or Phillip Rivers. But you did say this about Aaron Rodgers, which leads me to believe you knew he was hurt. Because remember, Skip, we saw the first game of the season. He takes a sack. He leaves the game. We think he's done not only for that game, we think he's going to miss time during the regular season. But the quarterback play, his backup was so bad. So bad, Skip. They had to put him back in there. He worked a miracle. They end up winning the game. But this is what I've always told you, Skip. It doesn't matter how bad you're injured. If you go out there on the field or you go out there on the court, all they see is the number on the front and the name on the back. We know for a fact Aaron Rodgers was hurt last year because does Aaron Rodgers normally wear a brace on his knee? No. You know who does wear a brace on their knee? Tom Brady. And why is that? Because that's the knee that he tore in 2008 to start the season. So we know for a fact that Aaron Rodgers was hurt. But the thing is, Skip, another thing, Brian Bulaga missed 2 games, offensive line was banged up, and there are 2 things that I know for certain. Having played the game for, Skip, sometimes people don't even realize I played. Later yesterday, like, oh, I love you on Skip. Did you play? Because you know an awful lot about football. Like, yeah, a little bit. I dabbled a little here and there. I ain't played too much. I dabbled in it.
So she calls the show Skip.
Yeah, basically. She said, I love you. She said, you really know a lot about football. I wonder if you played. I was like, I dabbled, ma'am. She's like, oh, okay, well, you do a great job, son. I was like, well, thank you. I said, well, thank you.
How quickly they forget.
Oh, boy.
It has been 15 years. But, Skip, there are 2 things that really affect a quarterback's accuracy. If he's injured and poor line play. You start getting pressure. You start hitting upside your head. Ask Tom Brady. When Tom Brady played in 2000 in the championship against the Denver Broncos, when Ware and Von Miller and Malik and Derek Wolfe was constantly bringing pressure, look at his accuracy. That affects your accuracy. And then if you're injured, it also affects your accuracy. But Skip Bayless, 7 is way too low. Even for the great Aaron Rodgers, and he hasn't been what he was prior to the injuries and prior to, because the previous year, Skip, he broke his collarbone, missed 9 games. We understand that. But I tell you what, we'll see. We're going to find out what the rating's going to be the next year because I believe he'll be healthy. Now, his left tackle, David Bakhtiari, was voted best left tackle in football. If Brian Bulaga can stay healthy, you're going to see the old Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Don't be surprised if he has that the trophy that my homeboy got this past season. Don't be surprised if another was on his Aaron Rodgers' mantle next year.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm thinking we might just see old Aaron Rodgers.
Whatever.
Not be old, just old. What have I been trying to tell you for the last 3 years?
What?
I've been resolute and dug in over here on this side of the table. Aaron Rodgers has been in decline right before your very eyes for 1, 2, 3 straight years. His completion percentage has fallen for 1, 2, 3 straight years. His QBR has fallen for 1, 2, 3 straight years. But he continues to get more passes than he throws. Passes from the media, passes from the Hall of Famer across from me, who continues to dig in and call Aaron Rodgers a transcendent thrower of the football. Maybe even transcendental thrower of the football.
He is transcendent.
Right? Okay? So, all I know is what I see with my eyes. I eye test Aaron Rodgers, and he keeps failing my eye test as a transcendent thrower of the football. Because I keep trying to tell you that he shattered the Pro Football Focus record for throwaways last year. He just nuked it. Throwaways happen when you glance and you don't love what you see. You just say, I don't want to throw an interception. I'll throw it in the third row. And your completion percentage continues to drop. But, boy, you wind up with 25 touchdowns to 2 interceptions.
Yeah, you like that?
25 to 2. It sounds like you just owned the NFL world last year, and your team went 6-9-1. And by the way, you started all 16 games. Were you banged up? You well might have been. I don't know.
Oh, he might have been.
Okay, he might have been. Was Tom Brady banged up? All he did was he won his 6th Super Bowl. So I don't know. He wore a knee brace, but he won a Super Bowl.
But you know what? Here's the thing that I find so puzzling to me, and that they all of a sudden they start to track these things. Throwaways. Now, I know a guy. Do you remember Aaron Rodgers' predecessor? How many more games would they have won if he had thrown the ball away as opposed to throwing it up for grabs? Now, we killed Brett Favre for heaving it up into traffic when no one was open. Now, Aaron Rodgers is careful with the football. He says, you know what? I'm not going to put the ball in harm's way. I'll throw it away. And now we beat him up for that. So can we find a medium? So what's the medium?
Did Brett Favre ever go 6-9-1?
Yeah. Skip. All I know is Brett Favre has more interceptions than anybody in the history of the game. And Aaron Rodgers is going to end the game, is going to end his career with a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. It won't no one be close. Not
How
even
many
the great.
more crucial game-saving or game-making passes did Brett Favre complete because he tried?
Well, he took
a risk.
He cost them a couple of Super Bowls. You remember against
New Orleans?
Oh yeah, did that one. Where he
trying to
rolled
help you.
Oh, no, yeah. Oh, but
Trying
there was another one in Philadelphia. Remember? He threw the ball right up, just in the middle of the field. Nobody there. That's 2 opportunities.
You want me to start listing all the ones he completed?
And they,
Some to a brother of yours,
I
believe
get
it or not.
But my thing is, Skip, is that as a quarterback, I've heard a lot of offensive coordinators. Son, if there's nothing there, just throw it away. Don't be afraid to throw the ball away. Well, Aaron Rodgers is not afraid to throw the ball away because guess what? I'll get another chance. I'll live to see another day. If I turn the ball over on first down, second down, now I get it, Skip. If you know it's third down, 3rd and 25, and you throw the ball 50 yards down the field and they intercept the ball at the 2-yard line, you can say that's a punt. But what happens when you turn the ball over in the red zone? What happens when you turn the ball over and they get pick sixes? Is that any good?
What did John Gruden always say about the great Brett Favre, whom he helped coach at one point in Green Bay? He said Brett Favre was the classic, no, yes, yes. And Aaron Rodgers is turning into the yes, no.
No.
What are you doing? Why'd you throw it away? You had him.
No. If I'm a coach and Brett, I'm like, no, didn't I tell you we discussed this in meetings? We've gone over this in practice. We're not going to take unnecessary risk with the football. Now, granted, Brett could take a little bit more risk because he had Reggie White, Hall of Fame. He had Leroy Butler. I believe he had better defenses than what Aaron Rodgers has now. And when you don't...
Except for that Super Bowl year, it was pretty good.
Yeah, they were special. That's the only time he's had a really top-flight defense. But that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about that, Skip.
Well, it's here.
Yeah,
it's
no,
part of
I don't.
They both won a Super Bowl. They both had good defense, right?
But I believe that Brett had better defenses, especially when he started winning Super Bowls, than what Aaron Rodgers, even the Super Bowl year, they weren't better than Reggie. They weren't better than that lead defense.
Okay, I'll give you that. But you got to give me this.
What?
3 years ago, Packers went 10-6, and then
Did they make the playoffs?
These are just the games that Aaron Rodgers started. 10-6. Then the next year he was hurt, but he went 4-3 as a starter. Last year, as I said, 6-9-1. That adds up to 20-18-1 over the last 3 years.
That's not good.
That ranks 20th among NFL starters. Those with better winning percentages over the last 3 years are Trevor Siemian, remember him, once with the Denver Broncos. Ryan Tannehill has had a better winning percentage over the last 3 years. Mariota's had a better one. Trubisky's had a better one. And Aaron Rodgers is way down there at 20th.
But you know what? You know that, Skip Bayless? I see what you just did there. I love how you do that. You know, Jenny, oh, he good.
part?
Oh, that's Skip Bayless.
He's good.
He should have been a lawyer. I know he went and got an English degree. Do they have, can you get a law degree from Vanderbilt? I don't know, but you should have got one because I saw what you did just there. Now, you quick to bring up, oh, his win percentage, 20-18-1.
Yep.
Oh, Trevor Siemian.
Yep.
You know Trevor Siemian. He played for your Broncos. You know about this guy.
Remember him?
Yeah.
But when I tell you the same thing, that your guy in Dallas has the same completion percentage or throwing the ball down the field as Blake Bortles, I can't believe, are you saying Blake Bortles and Dak Prescott in the same sentence? Yeah, because that's what you just did. You just compared.
The last 3 years, Dak Prescott has the 6th best winning percentage in football. I don't know.
Dinking
That
and
good?
dacking. Dinking and dacking.
Really? Huh. You mean the guy who has the best completion percentage in his first 3 years in NFL history?
Yeah, if you're going to be Check Down Alex, how you think Check Down Alex got his name? So if you're going to be Dink and Dunk Kingpin, oh, here you go, Zeke. Oh, here you go, Jason Witten. Okay, all these jailbreak screens.
Second most wins in the National Football League over the last 3 years belong to Dak
And
Prescott.
got what?
Second only to the guy up in Foxborough.
And got one playoff win. Something ain't adding up, Skip. All I know, look,
I'm seeing 3 playoff wins this year. That's what I'm seeing. That's just me.
you see it 3.
Three.
Yeah,
Hold on.
we're
3, that'd be
like
playoff. That'd be Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That'd be Super Bowl.
No, that's what
That'd
I
be
just
Super
said.
Bowl.
I just said that.
Oh.
We're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes.
They go to Super Bowl.
Yeah, we are.
They're not.
So, I will give you this. This year is huge for your guy, Aaron Rodgers, because this is a crucial crisis year for Aaron
I'm
Rodgers.
not liking it.
Hot seat.
Skip, he already.
Not catbird seat, hot seat.
Skip, but he.
New coach, new expectations.
And they already bumping
They're
heads.
bumping heads. I don't know. Maybe he bumps heads with every
Maybe
coach.
that's his thing.
He's got a lot of LeBron in him. He is
There
the
you go.
NFL's
There you
LeBron.
go.
He is.
How the man got some LeBron in him, Skip?
He just got some LeBron in
The-
him.
the
He's
man-
got some diva in him.
I just believe Aaron Rodgers is certified. He's qualified to be able to go to the line of scrimmage
I believe
and
he's-
see something that he doesn't like and change the play.
Certifiable diva is what he is. Exactly.
Okay, what?
And the reason that the spokesman for EA said, well, maybe he was injured is because so many people who play those games, the Madden games, love Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they
and
should.
I get it.
They should.
But he is living on that reputation. The facts are the facts. And finally, somebody came forward and said, well, we keep evaluating him, and they do. They pore over film study, and they are seeing what my eye test is seeing. He's just not what he once was. He is the seventh.
It's a game.
In fact, if I just look at winning percentage, he shouldn't even be 7th on this list.
It's a video game, Skip
Yeah,
Bayless, because they kept my speed way down.
Did they?
Yeah, they suppressed my speed. All I know is I didn't get caught from
The
behind.
Cowboys told me you timed 4.8.
I know, but
Yeah.
ask the Cowboys what I did to them.
Okay, well, we're just talking about, Madden speed.
They do their research.
I don't have man speed.
Oh.
I have football game
I
speed.
thought you told me you had mad speed.
Oh, I had great. All I know is I didn't get caught from behind. That's all that other stuff. Skip, he wasn't that fast. You're right, I wasn't.
Okay. Well, you're in the Hall of Fame. It's over.
But
Done.
you know what? I made them smell the deodorant because the referee kept doing this when I had the ball.
Really?
Yeah, they had to smell the deodorant.
Really?
I haven't seen that
Well,
one in a while.
Yeah, they had to do
Good.
that.
I assume Aaron Rodgers is Hall of Fame bound, but he's going to have to do it off the first half of his career versus the back half.
Whatever.
Well,
It's got a bug in
I mean,
it.
is he a done deal in the Hall of Fame? Seriously?
Yeah, slam
Is he?
dunk.
Slam dunk off
Hold up.
one Super Bowl.
With two regular season MVPs, a
Okay.
Super Bowl, a final.
All right, slam dunk.
Slam dunk.
Okay, well, is he going to finish it off with a flourish, or is he just going to fade into the sunset?
Oh, so you believe he's gonna fade into the
Well,
sunset?
I don't know. The numbers are telling me fade, fade, fade.
Okay, you go-
Erosion.
The only thing he's gonna
Yep.
fade is that LeBron jumper
Okay,
fade in the corner.
All right, well, I want to see it this year.
You'll see it.
Okay.
Hopefully the coaches let him have some leeway and let him be able to change his
it's the
play.
coach's fault.
Skip, we talked.
LeBron-esque.
Hold
Too
on, hold on.
LeBron-esque.
Didn't we just talk about that? About we think a quarterback of his caliber, of his ilk, should be able to change the plays at the line of scrimmage, and the coach is like, nah, we don't do that because we've never had a quarterback, quote unquote, smart enough to be able to do that. Really? That's Aaron Rodgers. He went to Cal. You got to be smart to get into Cal.
That's true.
So you couldn't go to Cal.
Me?
You know,
We'll be watching him carefully this year.
somebody pulled a favor. Somebody did a favor for you to get to the
No, I
Vanderbilt.
won the full scholarship, but that's okay.
You ain't win nothing.
Yes, I did.
Somebody pulled a favor. Somebody knew somebody.
I got accepted all by my lungs.
All on his own. Can't say the same about me.
No mercy.
Next up, Manny Pacquiao could put another title on his mantle. He ended Keith Thurman's undefeated streak with a split decision win on Saturday night. He won the WBA Super World Welterweight Championship all at the age of 40. And Skip, you were there. How impressive was he?
Mr. Sharpe.
Yes.
I must admit, I was stunned by what I saw on Saturday night from Manny Pacquiao. I did not expect to see that. He looked 10 years younger than age 40. He was fighting a man who was literally 10 years younger and undefeated. And that Manny looked as quick and powerful and explosive as I've seen him look since pre-Floyd Mayweather fight, which was May the 2nd of 2015.
Right.
More than 4 years ago.
Correct.
And he was especially explosive and quick with his right hand, and he is left-handed.
Right.
But that little right jab, he put him down in the first round with a little quick flick right. Would you believe that Manny Pacquiao landed 82 jabs to Keith Thurman's 18? Right. 82 to 18? What? Oof. And to me, I was looking at a man who has turned 40 back in December 17th, who was out of desperation. He has gotten into the best shape of his life. I've never seen him in better shape than he was in on Saturday night. And I don't know how you get quicker and faster and more explosive at age 40, but he had accomplished that. Again, he gets desperate because he loves to fight, he loves to compete, he loves to make money. He gives a lot of his money away in his native Philippines. And yet that man was on some new mission I haven't seen before. So right as the fight ended, from ringside, I tweeted, Floyd would want none of Manny right now. Floyd would get hurt. And if a week ago you had asked me about the prospect of Manny at 40 fighting Floyd at 42 in a rematch, I would have scoffed, if not just outright laughed at it. And now I start thinking, because I'm still holding a grudge over what happened.
I know you are.
I am. I'm just holding on because it sticks in my craw what happened. I remind everybody, before that May 2nd, 2015 fight, more than 4 years ago, Manny Pacquiao tore his rotator cuff while sparring about 3 weeks before the bout.
Right.
He tried to get an injection. They didn't turn in the right paperwork on that night, so he fought with no painkiller in the shoulder.
Right.
He basically fought with one arm, and I still believe he beat Floyd to my eye test just because he was the aggressor the whole fight. And as we know, Floyd is wont to do, and he is the greatest at doing it. Floyd hit and ran the whole night.
Yeah.
That's just his style.
Yeah,
that's the way he does it.
He
It's not,
shot you,
it's not fun to watch, but it is extremely effective. But I still thought, and the only other guy who said it was Evander Holyfield, thought Manny deserved to win the fight just on being the aggressor for all 12 rounds. So that sticks in my craw to the point that I would love to see Manny get a measure of revenge. Unfortunately, Floyd is 42.
About to be 43 in February.
And he's fought nobody.
Yeah.
Because I can't count Conor
Conor,
McGregor
right.
as a boxer. You
And
know,
that was 2 years ago, Skip.
okay? And we have to go clear back to, what was it?
Berto, his last fight in 2015.
Yeah, it was in September, so it was from May to September, and that was it.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so what's Floyd got left? I have no idea. Would Floyd take this fight? Would he just do it just for the money? He probably would.
The thing that Floyd Mayweather cares about more than legacy is money.
Okay, that's his nickname.
Yeah. So if somebody can give him, assure him $250,000,
Yep.
Floyd Mayweather will take this fight.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, Skip, I can't disagree with you. I thought he looked unbelievable. I thought it was a unanimous decision. I didn't think it was a split decision. I thought he outclassed, he outboxed, he did everything out better than Keith Thurman. I was really never, ever, and this is not to take anything away from Manny, but I always thought that Errol Spence Jr. and Bud Crawford was the class of this division. Now,
Listen, especially Errol Spence Jr.
Yeah, Spence Jr. and Sean Crawford, they're going to get this thing on in September. But Floyd was unbelievable. Skip, his in and out, his side to side, his speed was there. And when I looked at him and I'm watching him, and I'm saying, hold on. I remember in 2017 that Conor was catching Floyd with shots that surely Manny could catch him with, but I don't believe Floyd would fight Manny like he fought Conor because he like put his head in his chest, says I'm not going anywhere because I don't believe you can get me out of here. I don't believe he'll stand there and try to go toe to toe with Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao's a boxer. He can sit down on punches. He can get you out of there. So Floyd, I believe, would fight him different than what he fought Conor. But Skip, this is the best I've seen Manny Pacquiao fight in a very long time. He didn't fight like this against Jeff Horn. He didn't fight like this.
Well, he was pathetic against. I thought that was the end.
But I
thought it was over.
Exactly. Skip, he was special Saturday night. He looked like Manny, not the old Manny Pacquiao. He looked like the old Manny Pacquiao. The darting, because that's the way he fights. He'll dart in and out. And sometimes that's what got him knocked out against Marquez.
It did.
Is that he got caught darting in and he caught him flush and he don't remember anything after that. But he beat Keith Thurman. This should have been a unanimous, not a majority, not a split decision, a unanimous decision because he was hurting Thurman, hitting him to the body. A 30-year-old, he slept in a hyperbaric chamber for 5 weeks. Well, he needed to sleep in it for a whole year. Because a 40-year-old, he thought, well, I'm going to put him into retirement. I'm going to do to him what he did to De La Hoya. I'm going to send him into retirement.
He's got T-Rex arms.
Yeah, little arms, all that.
To say.
Let me tell you what got Manny Pacquiao motivated. He knows he can't look bad in any other fight if he has any hopes, any dreams of fighting Floyd Mayweather.
Correct.
That's what this is about, Skip Bayless. So I think he'll probably have to fight one of these other guys, Spence Jr.,
He might.
Sean Porter, Bud Crawford, before he sees Floyd. But if somebody said, well, Floyd, we got $300 million, Floyd Mayweather, it will start training. Now, he still trains. He still does his thing. But Floyd Mayweather loves money. I don't know if anybody follows him on Instagram, but he's normally walking around with $1 million, $2 million, and he loves that.
In some casino where
on his jet, and he got like 30 Rolexes from the Richard Milles to $18 million Jacob, all that. For that, Skip, if you maintain a lifestyle like that, it costs money. And when you got money going out, and Floyd's not currently fighting, you need to have something coming in. 250, 300 million would do just nicely. So I was with you. I thought there's no way Floyd and Manny Pacquiao would ever fight again. Been there, done that, saw it, didn't want to see it again. But if Manny Pacquiao keeps fighting like this, and someone's going to come to the table and say, Floyd, we got $250 million for you, Floyd Mayweather's going to step back in the ring because I believe $250 million, $300 million means more than 50-0.
How much would it help if Floyd took one tomato can fight, just one opponent of, lesser magnitude, just to show you he can still do it?
No, because it'll almost be like Anthony Joshua, because he took what he thought was a tomato can with Ruiz, and because everybody wanted to see him and Deontay Wilder. Everybody wanted to see Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Woo, he wanted to see that fight. And Skip, remember I said, now what? Sugar Ray was right here. I said, well, Sugar Ray, what happens if one of these guys lose? It's going to lose some of the luster. He's like, yeah, you're right, but I don't think Joshua. And lo and behold, what happened? He got sat down. So now all of a sudden, people aren't clamoring for the Joshua Deontay Wilder like they were before. Floyd's not taking any fights other than Manny Pacquiao because nobody else can give him that kind of money. He ain't doing no fight for no $30 million. He went and fought an exhibition. He fought some guy in Japan, I think, for $8 million that lasted like 30 seconds. He'd do stuff like that. But with a chance that's going to put a blemish on his resume, he ain't taking a fight like that. But he will fight Manny Pacquiao for $300 million.
So I'm going to do my part. Floyd, I dare you now to take this man on because you would get hurt if you tried Manny Pacquiao right here, right now. He's gone back in time.
Well, maybe he has the stomach for it because you see, it seemed like before, Skip, he had lost his stomach. And that's what Sugar Ray told us, Skip. Sometimes you lose your stomach to hurt somebody. No, you can't do that if you're in the hurt business. You can't lose your stomach to try to hurt somebody and get them up out of there. It seems like he's gotten that gravitas back. He's gotten that blood back in his
Freddie
mouth.
Roach was concerned and voiced it publicly before the Floyd fight because Manny was a born-again Christian. Has he lost his his will to put someone down.
Yeah.
Because in that game, in that business, you have to be willing
Yeah.
to put the man
Hurt.
away.
Yes.
And I think he was trying to put Keith Thurman
He
away
was.
in the first round, and he got him again in the second round. It looked like he was trying to finish the job.
Well, Skip, he was ahead on the scorecards, and he was trying to finish him in the 12th round.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
He went after him in the 12th round.
That's the
He
thing
did.
about Manny.
It was impressive.
He doesn't sit back and like, I got this fight won. I'm going to run around and dance all that. Manny Pacquiao's still trying to get folks out of there. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out. Who can barbear him, because Manny is managed by Top Rank. Who can they put him in there with next? But I would not be surprised at some point in 2020 if Manny Pacquiao wins his next fight against one of these top-tier guys. I can see in 2020 him fighting for
Well, if he beat Errol Spence, it'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
this
Errol
point.
Spence
But then I'm afraid that would scare Floyd off.
$300 million in square Floyd.
Oh, that money. I just remember when we had Manny on the show. Remember? You know, he's talking about his work as a senator and how do you find the time to train? He's like, I find time.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
find time.
And you know, I don't know if you convinced him or he convinced you that he won the fight against Floyd, but he sincerely believes deep down that he beat Floyd in the fight.
He does.
Because he keeps saying he ran. He didn't want to fight. Okay.
Well, here we go.
I hope so.
So I'm sitting near his wife and mother, and they've been through all these wars, and my wife Ernestine kept saying, look at his mother. She's so into it. Like she's fighting the fight. for
Yeah.
him. And I said, she's been doing this for about 20 years.
Exactly. And you notice Keith Thurman, that was the first time he had recently got married.
Yep.
That was the first time that she saw him fighting. And there's a difference, Skip.
She looks
I
stressed.
understand you want to see that, but come on, in the locker room, you got to get your mind right. He up there hugging and kissing and taking pictures.
I think he thought he was going to send Manny on his way in.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
He's still Manny Pacquiao. He's the only guy that got won eight titles in 8 different divisions.
Yeah.
So you look at, he's 40 years old, and okay. Okay.
Vibranium does
I'm glad
wonders.
you
Hey,
wanna see it.
hey, I know right here. You gonna find out the hard way about that vibranium come October.
to know that.
Yeah, you gonna find the hard way, Skip Bayless.
How about this next story? Why is Bill Belichick helping the Cowboys? What is Skip going to say next? We'll tell you.
No mercy.
Back to the NFL. Bill Belichick had a very interesting dinner guest recently, Jason Garrett. The two were at Belichick's home in Nantucket, and according to Page 6, it was a, quote, friendly catch-up. Belichick and his defending champion Patriots host the Cowboys in November. Shannon, what do you make of this?
Really? Oh, but you know what? They say this is what happens as you start to age, you start to soften up a little bit. You start to mellow out. And I noticed that about myself. Yeah, it used to be hard.
You?
Yeah. But everybody, even my sister says, Shannon, I've noticed a big change in you.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe you've been humbled on this show.
Because what we're starting to see, Skip, if you remember, Coach Belichick texts Sean McVay. We know he has a fondness for Kyle Shanahan.
He
Talk
does.
to him. I think they had after they won the Super Bowl, they had a great sit down at the NFL Combine. I just don't get this. You know, man, I can see if Sean McVay is thought of as an offensive guru. So is Kyle Shanahan. Jason Garrett is thought of a guy that should be on the golf course because the way he quietly claps. They don't. Also, I think that Coach Belichick looks at, he ain't no threat. He like, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you the playbook. These are the plays we're going to run against y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
You know what, Skip? You know what? You should have came and visited your boy. I got a place up in Sag Harbor. You should have came and seen your boy. But, oh, wait.
Sag Harbor?
Yeah! Got me a little place up there. Yeah. Yeah, got me a little place up
You are
there.
a high roller.
Skip, I don't really know what to make of this. All I can think of is just maybe this is a friendly visit. Catch up on what? I mean, I didn't know these guys were. I didn't know. I mean, look, there's a lot of things we don't know about coaches, but if it was Sean McVay, if it was Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan, but I tell you what, you think Coach Belichick inviting Mike Tomlin, someone that he views that might be a threat in the AFC? I think not. John Harbaugh? I think not.
Interesting. So, my turn. And a quick aside before I answer Jenny's question, I just got a text from my friend Lil Wayne, who's very upset with me for my remarks about your man Aaron Rodgers, because he is a big Packer fan, and he is outraged, and he has now invited me to sit in his suite at the Super Bowl, and I'm going to quote him, as the Pack whack the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So he's predicting Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl, and I'm invited to sit beside him and have to eat these words during that Super Bowl. And I haven't returned the text yet, but I'll just do it live here on air because I'm going to be at a different Super Bowl, and I'm going to be watching my Cowboys play the Patriots in the Super Bowl because this dinner to me was a Super Bowl preview dinner. Yes, it was. I'm on the record early.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick by my guns. I got Patriots, Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And right now, I would have to give Tom Brady and company a little edge over my Cowboys. Yeah.
The guy that has the highest completion percentage in his first 3 years?
But I'll take the real Brady over the future Brady.
Future Brady.
But here's the point about Jason Garrett. I covered him when he was the backup quarterback, and he had he had one big Thanksgiving moment against Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah. Was your brother on the
Yep,
team? I
he
believe he
was.
was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So he saw Jason Garrett up close.
I think that was 94.
I believe it was.
Yeah. My brother had 4 touchdowns in that game. But
Did he? Okay, no big deal. But they lost.
They did.
They lost.
They did.
So I know Jason Garrett well enough to tell you he is a joy to be around because he can really talk, and he's a nice guy with a good sense of humor who doesn't take himself that seriously in just pleasant conversation.
Well, then why could they want to be around him?
Huh? Well, he's just fun to be around. He knows his football.
I mean, normally you look. Movie stars marry other movie stars. Movie stars hang together. You see Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. They hang out together. Musicians, they hang out together because they got things in common.
Yeah.
What the hell Coach Belichick and Jason Garrett got in common? One guy got 6 Super Bowl wins. The other guy got 6 playoff losses. What we got in common besides we both head coaches?
They coach football.
Oh, my Jesus.
That's all you need.
And yet, Jason Garrett coaches offense to a fault to me because my biggest fear about this year, which could derail this year, is that Jason Garrett will decide he is going to call the plays instead of new coordinators. Like you got 2 or 3 possibilities, but in this case, I'm afraid Jason might call the plays.
Well, if he sees the ship going down, he better grab it.
Well, he just might, but the ship is going to go up. It's going to stay afloat, and it's going to roll all year long.
We got a topic coming up later that might cause that thing to hit the iceberg.
Really? Okay, well, we can talk about that, but right here, right now, I think that this was the greatest thing Belichick could have done for Jason Garrett because obviously this year is make or break for Jason Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
You don't think it would resonate with Jerry and Stephen Jones that they read or hear that, interesting, Jason was invited to Bill's house up on Nantucket, his summer house?
No.
Really?
What would get Jerry and Steven excited if Coach Belichick says, hey, guys, I want to coach the Cowboys in 2020. That's what would get them excited.
That has been rumored before, but I don't think that was operating on this summer night.
No.
This was your basic Midsummer Night's Dream night for Jason Garrett because this is cachet for him, man.
Well, Coach Belichick was bored. He and his wife, girlfriend, fiance, whatever she is, they had, they were. I mean, it gets lonely up there in Nantucket. I mean, you really.
I love Nantucket.
If you're not really close to a whole lot of people, everybody minds their business. That's the thing that I like about places like that. Like here, people mind their business. They ain't bother me. They see me walking the dogs. They go back in the house. They don't even say anything to me. I like that. They don't bother you. So in Nantucket, Skipper, this time of year, everybody's getting ready to go back to play football. He's like, would you like some company? He's like, she's like, sure.
Unless Jaws gets sighted out on the water.
So he's going through his Rolodex. He's like, Coach Tomlin, no. John Harbaugh, no. Anthony Lynn, no. Vic Fangio, no. Who can I call? Here's a guy that
he got to the bottom?
Yeah, he's like, okay. Oh, this guy right here, they got no chance of beating us. Hey, so what are you doing?
That's what it was.
Would you like to come up to Nantucket? Sure, come on up. That's what that was.
I'm sure a great night was had by all because Jason can really light up a room. He can take it over. During games, he can't light up a football team because he mostly just claps for everything.
Well, Coach Belichick has a great personality away from the football field. You get him away where he's not in that moment where the most important thing to him is winning that game, he's a different guy. Been around him at the Pro Bowl. He's great. He's unbelievable.
Really?
Tell great stories. Funny, great sense of humor. I don't know about the other guy. But I like Jason. I like Jason too.
I believe the Dallas Cowboys are going to take Jason for a great ride this year. They're going to win in spite of him, and I'm hoping that he sees his way clear to not try to be Bill Belichick of the offense and just stay in the background and clap, and we'll be just fine.
No, because he was 2016, he was coach of the year, and you still didn't give him no credit. You say they did, well, that was because of Zeke, that's because of Dak. He had nothing to do with that. So he was coach of the year, and you still won't give him any credit. He wins the Super Bowl, which is not going to happen, Jen. I want to make that abundantly clear. I want to make that crystal clear. If they were to somehow, in a land far, far away, many years from now, would have won a Super Bowl with Jason Garrett as the head coach, you still wouldn't give him any credit.
Yep.
Because you're going to say all he did was clap.
Well, 2 of the last 3 years, who has won the NFC East? Jason Garrett.
That ain't the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And you're not winning it this year. So you're about to be 2 out of 4.
Well, they should have beaten Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game.
No, they should not have.
2 years ago,
No, they should
3
not.
years ago.
What about Jared Goff? What are they going to do with him?
Play defense? Maybe stop him on 3rd and 9?
Well, your quarterback can score some points in the first half, too. He's welcome to do that. Anytime he like.
My quarterback outplayed Jared
No, he
Goff.
did not.
Super Bowl bound Jared Goff.
No,
outplayed
he
him.
did not.
Who had the better QBR? Help me out.
All I know, but hold on.
Who had the better QBR between Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott? Dak. Who had the best QBR of any quarterback in the postseason last year? Dak Prescott.
And what he get?
This is his year to break out and break through.
No.
Here we go.
The only thing he said I'm trying to break is the bank. Jerry, I need that money. Break bread. What y'all gonna pay the
Jerry
man?
will figure all
No,
that
no,
out.
Jerry. Well, Jerry, he's like, I'm tired of you figuring it out, Jerry. Here's a calculator. Here's my number.
Your only hope of derailing my Cowboys is financial.
Yep.
Financial ruin. Salary cap hell for everybody, right? That's your only hope. Because I cannot tell you how good I feel about this Cowboy year. They are positioned to be the breakout team. Here they
They went to the playoffs last year.
That's what I'm saying. They're right on time.
To be a breakout team, Skip, you know you have to miss the playoffs the year before to do something that people don't think you can do.
Okay, but a lot of the preseason polls have them like as the in power rankings have them like 15.
Okay, they're average team.
All right. So they're average.
Yeah,
So
okay.
when that qualifies a breakout year.
because they went to the playoffs last year. They lucked up.
Okay. They lucked up and they should have won 2 playoff
No, they
games
should not
last
have.
year,
No, they
and
should
they're
not.
going to win 2 because they're going to win the East, so they're going to have a week off, and they're going to win 2 to get to 3.
Starting making Super Bowl predictions
Nope.
over here.
No, they're
Do
not.
you
Yep.
want to make any predictions on your side of the
No,
table?
no.
Not yet?
I'm not in the
You
prediction.
want the
There yet.
Packers? You
No.
can have the Packers.
On July 22nd, I'm not in the prediction business just yet.
Okay, all right, you let us know. We are going to stay with the NFL. They made a surprising decision to not suspend Tyreek Hill. We will discuss all the latest next.
No mercy.
The NFL announced Friday that they will not suspend Tyreek Hill after their investigation into child abuse. The league said they could not determine whether Hill violated the personal conduct policy, so he will now be able to attend Chiefs training camp, but he still must go through a clinical evaluation and a therapeutic intervention. Shannon, are you surprised by the decision?
I was, considering the recording, Skip, is that when the mom asked the child, told him that the child said he's afraid of you, and his response to her was not what I think a response should have been. Says, well, you should be afraid of me also. B.
Terrified.
Yeah. I thought that in and of itself, but I could get it, Skip. And plus, the fact of the matter is, a 3-year-old ended up with a broken arm. That's what we know. And from it didn't sound like it happened at the playground. That's and then you listen to what he said to her. I guess the NFL could have viewed that as a threat. But this is also why I believe the NFL needs to get out of this business. Not the NFL, but Roger Goodell.
Yep.
In the next CBA that's up in 2020, Skip, they need to come to an agreement that we're going to have an independent arbitrator that's going to dole out this kind of punishment. If it's not have to do with on the field, gambling-related issues, which is an integrity issue, Commissioner Goodell, you're going to take that. But all other issues, he needs to be out of it, Skip, because he can't win. There is no way Commissioner can win because they said, well, hold on, you saw that threat. He threatened this lady. He couldn't get a game with that. Well, then his rebut would be, okay, what did Zeke do in Vegas? Did he not threaten that guy? Did he not walk up in a threatening manner? Did he not push that guy down?
He did.
See, Skip, this is what, and now she wouldn't come forward. Now, this is not new to the NFL. This happens in a lot of domestic violence cases, Skip. The female is unwilling to cooperate up until a certain point.
Yep.
When it comes to the realization that the other person could possibly face jail time or could possibly lose compensation, she's like, well, I want no parts of that. And see, what happens with me is that Tyreek Hill lose all benefit of the doubt because he has a history with this woman. He got kicked out of Oklahoma State.
He did.
For doing something bad to this young lady.
He pled guilty.
He pled guilty, and he had to go. So he lost all benefit, even if I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
Well, that might not have happened. It could have happened. He lost that with me
Yep.
because of his history, and that goes into it. But Skip, he suspended him for 2 games. That's not enough. He suspended him for a season. That's too much. That's why the NFL is an entertainment business. In entertainment, you entertain. He's ill-equipped. Commissioner is ill-equipped to handle a matter of this magnitude. Get out of it. Therefore, an arbitrator can say, you know what? He deserves 5, he deserves 10, or he deserves the whole season. And the commissioner says, hey, we collective bargaining this. This is what both sides agreed to. I don't really know what else you want me to tell me. But I am surprised, Skip, that he did not get at least a game.
I am stunned. And I'm to the point I cannot predict what our commissioner of the National Football League is going to do next.
Right.
Because the pendulum has swung from judge, jury, and executioner to see no evil, Roger Goodell, because with the Zeke incident in Las Vegas, I think we both agreed, well, that's at least 1 game, if not 2.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Given the fact that Zeke was gone for 6 games in 2017. And again, I'm going to dig in and hold on to my takeaway from 2017 was that Kia Roberts, the director of investigations for the league, was the only person in the league office to interview Zeke's accuser multiple times and willingly pushed to testify at Zeke's hearing.
They wouldn't let her.
Well, I think she just did on her own against the wishes of her
Lisa Friel,
superiors.
the boss.
Yes, correct. And she testified, Kia Roberts, that I did not find the accuser credible. Aha. Well, is that not enough to say no punishment?
Right.
She recommended 0 punishment.
Correct.
Okay, he got 6 games. So I don't know what to think. So now I heard the audio tape and I thought, well, that alone, if we're just doing conduct unbecoming, let alone given the history that you talked about, and it's the same woman, you would think, I don't know, I'm losing touch with the reality here.
Right.
Well, shouldn't it be a couple of games at the minimum?
You would think.
Didn't most Kansas City fans think that he was gone? Didn't Andy Reid and company think that's it? Because they spent a 2nd-round draft choice on Mecole Hardman, that speedster out of Georgia who ran 4.3.
Right.
Because it looked like they needed a new
speed guy.
A new Tyreek.
And especially, Skip, given what they did with Kareem Hunt.
Yep. They just said
the video surface of him pushing a lady and kicking her.
Gone.
He was gone.
Because they took such heat for taking a shot on Tyreek. Remember in the 5th round, why did he last the 5th round?
Right.
You want to talk about speedster? You want to talk about game changer, game breaker? Because I watched him a lot at Oklahoma State, and he killed my Oklahoma Sooners that year with punt returns. Whew. Well, he went in the 5th round only because of this.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So they benefited from that, where they took a shot, and many in their fandom did not love the shot that they took. Right?
But Skip, look, domestic violence is just not an issue that plagues the NFL. It goes on in normal society. And the problem that investigators have, think about what I said, investigators, not people that's in charge of entertainment, which the NFL is that you get something, you go and you see this and you see scrapes or bruises on the young lady and she tells you her side of the story. But when it comes time to testify, you're like, oh, no, I ain't got nothing.
See it often. Yep.
So now, so the commissioner's like, okay, I would like to talk to the young lady. She won't show up. Lisa Friel, I would like to talk to you. She won't show up. But I think the problem that people are having with the Commissioner Goodell is that with Zeke's situation, you kept calling him to New York. Hell, you just called him to New York about this situation. Tyreek Hill never left Kansas City.
Okay.
So you mean to tell me you can call Zeke to New York, but you can't call Tyreek Hill to New York? So that's the problem with it. But he's commissioner in this situation. And I've told him this. This is not just something I said, Commish, you need to get out of the business of discipline that's off-field related. If it does not have to do with gambling or integrity of the league issue, you need to leave that because you're never going to be right. Never. They're going to say it's too soft, it's too hard. And then they're going to say you're unqualified because you're not an investigator. Let people that have done this for the better part of their life, let them handle it, not you. You keep making these owners $275. Skip, did you see that? Did you see that report? Yep. Every team got $275 million. That's before they cut the lights on in their own building.
Yep.
That's why commission ain't going. There's not a whole lot of commissioners could have survived 2014 what Commissioner Goodell did. But they looked at them back pockets, $275, and I haven't even cut the lights on in my own building.
Yep.
Oh, this is why, Skip, that's why he gets $500 million over the next 5 or 6 years. He's making them a lot of money. But he needs to get out of this, Skip, because he's in a lose-lose.
He has been all-time successful running the business of the National Football League. But you're exactly right. When it comes to this phase of the business, you need independent arbitration.
In 2005, Skip, he was on the cover of Time magazine. What was he on there for? There's a new sheriff in town. He cut his teeth on this. That's how he got the job. He was going to clean up the image of the NFL. They're starting to get rough shots. They were starting to get a bad look. And I need to clean this up. And he dropping the hammer on everything. And nobody, and I said this, look, this is not to minimize anything, but they didn't have a problem when he dropped the hammer down on Pac-Man Jones, because Pac-Man's a bad apple, Skip. They didn't have a problem with Tank Johnson. Tank Johnson was a bad apple. But he started to affect the Cowboys. Ooh, we watched the Cowboys. He started to affect the Patriots. Ooh, we watched the Patriots. Then all of a sudden we started getting pushback from owners. As long as it was old Tennessee, it was the Bears and Tank Johnson and some of these other guys.
True.
But an issue like this, Commission got no business handling nothing like this.
All I know is that 3-year-old had a broken arm.
That's it.
And yet law enforcement could not get to the bottom of it either, and they finally said, we give up on this.
Right.
We don't have anything of any credibility here.
And then once you want, Skip, we went through this with Greg Harden. Now, we hear the 911 tape. We know what happened. We know what she told the investigators. But when it came time for her to testify, she went missing.
Yeah, he lost the...
He had a bench trial.
Yes.
He had a bench trial. But once he lost that, he said, nah, I want a jury trial now. Okay, so now they got to get her to come to court. Well, she won't come to court. So Greg Hardy's like, he got a clean resume. Even though we heard the tapes.
And law enforcement said publicly to reporters that
he paid off.
It's too many inconsistencies.
That's it.
Punishment.
Wildly inconsistent.
It's just, at some point, there needs to be a change.
Let somebody else handle that, Commission.
Well, I will say this, if we can go back just to the football field for a moment, the Chiefs are back in business.
Boy.
Big biz.
Wow.
Skip, he's the second most important player.
Well, he is.
He's the second most important player.
So all of a sudden, I'd give them a little edge over the Patriots.
Now they got 3 speed. They got him, Sammy Watkins, and Tyreek. Hardwick, the kid out of Georgia.
Something to keep in mind. We are going to talk a little bit more about Ezekiel Elliott. There is a chance he could skip Cowboys training camp. We will discuss that with Reggie Bush next.
No mercy.
Well, first of all, a happy birthday to Ezekiel Elliott. He turns 24 today, but he might not be at Cowboys training camp later this week. Pro Football Talk reports that Zeke is telling people he intends to hold out if he doesn't get a new contract. Back in April, the Cowboys picked up Zeke's option through the 2020 season. Adding more fuel to the fire, reports also say Zeke could be making plans for a trip out of the country. And Yahoo reports the situation between Zeke and the team could go, quote, sideways fast this week. We're joined by Fox football analyst Reggie Bush. Good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning. Good morning.
But first, Shannon, that face says it all. How will this play out?
I think you might need to put those Super Bowl plans that you were planning on going to in Miami. You might need to put those on hold. Yeah. Skip, look. I believe Zeke will start training camp holding out. And they will tell him, we're going to take care of you, just not this year. See, Zeke understands, Skip. 2 of the first 3 years, Zeke has led the league in rushing. But in those 2 years, he's also led the league in carries. If you look at the year 2017 that he missed those 6 games, carries per game, he led the league again. So that tells
Yards per game.
Yeah. So that tells me 3 of 3, he would have led the league in rushing and carries.
Thank you.
Now, Reggie was a running back. He knows there's only so many carries you have in that body. Now, they got him under contract for this year. They've already picked up the 5th-year option, so they got him for 2020. So guess what else they got? 2 franchise tags. So they can run this thing out for 7 years.
Okay.
Run him in the ground. You remember how they did to Marco Murray? Run him in the ground, or we done. See, normally the rule of thumb is what I tell guys, if you're thinking about holding out, you should have thought about it a year before you actually hold out. So that way you put, like, look at Mom. We ain't buying nothing. You ain't getting no ring. Right. We ain't getting no new furniture. We ain't doing no upgrades. We ain't no new cars coming in. Because I got a feeling this thing gonna go into the season, and I'm gonna have to miss some paychecks to make them know that I'm serious about this. So, Skip, I'm on his side, but this is what he has working against him. For the last 3 years, commissioners had him up in his office. He's been in the principal's office. Jerry knows that. Now, see, there are things that have happened in Dallas that to the casual fan, they don't know about. But guess who know about him, Skip? Oh, Jerry. Jerry says, I know things that the commissioner doesn't even know. And I've kept it hush, hush.
Really?
Yeah. So Jerry's like, Zeke, you just had to go to the commissioner's office for shoving a 18-year-old security guy down. I told you, Skip, that security guy got money. Remember I told you, I said, go ahead and break him out, Skip. You be done with it.
Okay, but now you're saying Jerry's doing the same thing the security guy's doing. He's extorting Zeke, right? Is that what you're saying?
That's what happens, Skip. So he's like, hold on. How can I give you $45 million and I know you going to act up and you going to possibly go miss some games? Skip, you give guys the money, the long-term deals that you know you can count on. They're going to keep their nose clean off the field, and they're going to bust their butt for you on the field. So I get Zeke's point of view, Skip. He knows that they're going to use him up because he's how this offense works. No Zeke, nobody eats. That's how it goes, Skip Bayless. No Zeke, nobody eats.
So I guess the question is, how much is that peace of mind worth, right? Because like you just mentioned, talking about Zeke, is the one question you always come up with is, what is he gonna do next, right? What am I gonna wake up in the morning and read about next with Zeke? And so the player in me sympathizes with Zeke because he is the best running back in the league that we have to offer. The stats even
best in the league.
Yeah, the stats back that up. Since 2016, the Cowboys are 22-6 when he has 20-plus carries. So it's not even a question of who this offense runs through. It runs through Zeke. But the general manager side is thinking, well, his trade value is never going to be higher than it is right now, right? He just turned 24 years old today. He's the best running back in the league. But running the football would not win you a Super Bowl, right? And so even with all the stats that Zeke has accumulated, they have nothing to show for it, right? Not they got bounced in the playoffs last year.
Well, they won a playoff game. They got that to show.
They won a playoff game.
Okay.
But it's a quarterback-driven league. Am I right?
Yeah.
And you got a good young quarterback.
too.
You got a good young quarterback in Dak who has to get paid next year.
Yeah.
Amari's got to get paid next year. You gave
No,
up the
Dak,
first
I
round.
want my money now. I can't wait till next year. I need my money now.
So, the reason this man says he's on Zeke's side is because he is not on my side. And he knows that I am on to something because this team is really good. And it is positioned to be the team in the NFC this year because it's right on schedule to win another playoff game and then another, wait a second, and wind up in, dare I say, the Super Bowl. Yeah. There's only one thing that could derail this team, and that is a lengthy, bloody, nasty holdout by one Ezekiel Elliott. And he only, happy birthday, Zeke. You're only 24.
24.
Wouldn't you like to be 24 again?
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, my God. A lot of things different.
Wow.
A lot of things different.
Do a lot of things. I don't know. You had a great career anyway. It worked out pretty well. The point is, this is all much ado about zero, nothing. I don't care, and again, his agent is dropping hints to the media. He might just leave the country now that camp is upon us, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if he goes to Tahiti or Timbuktu. I don't care
he
where he goes.
He like Mexico.
He
Remember
likes
last time?
Does
I went to Mexico.
Escapes
You
there.
can go to Mexico. That counts being out of the country, right? Because you can hold out, quote unquote, all you want to of this training camp, because if you go to camp, you're going to get held out of everything.
Right.
They won't even let you practice. Seriously. He gets no practice carries, and trust me, he gets 0 carries in any preseason game. So all I care about is that on Sunday, September the 8th at 4:25 Eastern Time, right here on Fox, that Zeke is in uniform for my Dallas Cowboys, ready to roll and ready to do a lot of this, because you're right, when he eats, they eat.
Yep.
But the most important player on my team is still the quarterback. As you said, it's a quarterback's game. He is the leader, unquestioned, of this team. He is the one you can count on and off the field.
Yes.
Is Zeke essential to this? You better believe he is essential. But Jerry Jones, I keep telling you, the one area in which he gets the highest marks is big business. And when it comes to managing cap and salaries, there's never been anybody do it better than Jerry Jones has done it. And I was there every bloody day of that Emmitt Smith holdout for the first 2 games, and they lost the first 2
Contract
games.
the next day.
And it was the next day. And yet, he took less than I thought he would have at that moment, because Emmitt just missed playing football, and he knew they needed him, and he caved. He caved in. And guess what? He was the regular season MVP and the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
So it worked out. It was right on time. This will all work out. But I still believe the first to get his money is going to be the quarterback, and it's going to happen before camp is over.
Hey, what did he say? Did you hear what the quarterback said?
Yeah.
He said, I want
No.
Zeke to be the highest paid. No, he said, I want Zeke to be the highest paid running back. I want Amari to be the highest paid wide receiver, and I want to get what I deserve.
Yep. That's
love
probably
it.
mathematically impossible.
No.
Right?
The man said he want what he deserves. You keep throwing out them stats. You helping his case. The first 3 years, the highest completion percentage. He's won more games and yada yada. He's been
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, has
Yeah.
more game-winning drives than anybody in the league.
Yep.
And you want him to take less money?
No, I don't. He's going to get his, and they will figure out how to pay Amari. He won't be the highest paid receiver, but he will get his money, and then they will take care of Zeke. And I do agree with your premise. They do have a tendency, philosophically, to say, we'll pay him one more time, but we can't pay him for long term, because they know you just don't last long running the way he runs. You didn't run exactly the way Zeke. Zeke will just take on brick walls, man.
100%.
He'll just fight through brick walls.
Yeah,
that's what's so interesting about him as an athlete, is because he takes so much pounding on his body, and he doesn't get hurt. He does not get hurt.
I got to
The man
knock
is-
on this
I know.
wood right
He
now.
exactly. Knock on some wood, whatever you can right now, because when he just doesn't get hurt. And that's the thing to me that's so amazing, because I know how tough it is to live in those trenches, right?
do.
Sure.
How to live in those 4 to 5 yards. And I didn't run the football like he did, and I still got injured, right? And so so my question is to you, so who has the real leverage here, right? Is it the Cowboys or is it Zeke? Because
they know that bread butter with Zeke. They need him. Because we saw, guess what? We saw Zeke in 2017 when he saw those 6 games. How did the Cowboys do? Now, that quarterback, that good young quarterback they got, he's special.
Struggle.
He's special. Ooh, did you see how he looked without old Zeke?
Did you see how Jerry fought for Zeke?
Yeah.
On and off the field?
Yeah, he
Did you
did.
see Jerry
Yeah, I
behind
appreciate
the
it.
scenes and in front of the cameras, how he fought for
He
Zeke?
did. Yep.
And it meant something to Zeke. And did you see that reuniting scene of them? It was on one of the documentaries.
Yeah, he
where
hugged
they
and killed. Yeah,
hugging
the
it
Brit
out.
hung and break.
Okay.
Family.
Hey, Red, you got a mortgage, don't you? Did when the mortgage guys say, hey, you're like a month behind that mortgage. But did you see that embrace that me and Sean Payton have? They don't want to hear nothing about that. They want their money, Skip Bayless. Give the man his pay him. Pay him his money.
Are we doing rounders?
Yes. So go ahead and get Zeke, Skip.
Teddy KGB.
Go
yep.
ahead and get, look, you know what he wants.
Okay.
He knows he only has so many, Skip. these 300 carry seasons, they add up.
Yep.
And now you've thrown into the fact you're throwing him the ball 55, 60 times a year. So now he's up around 400 touches. You only get so many of those seasons in your body. Then after a while, it's a diminishing return. He knows that. He saw, look, the guy that he replaced, DeMarco Murray, that's how they did him. They used him up, spit him out. Pittsburgh tried to do the same thing to Le'Veon Bell. Okay, now what we going to do? Pick up that option, franchise you. He said, nah, bro, I'm good. Y'all ain't getting not another carry out of me.
Jerry was not close to DeMarco Murray. Jerry loves Zeke like a son. We've seen this before. But when he does love you as he loved Dez like a son, he will go to the ends of the earth to try to make it work out.
But will he do that for the running back position? You got to look at the big picture. Todd Gurley just got paid. And now people are asking the question, how many reps should he get this season so that we can keep him healthy because he has wear and tear on his
You know,
knee?
that franchise tag's pretty good, right?
No, I want no franchise. No. Franchise for 1 year. I need some long-term security. I need like 2-3 years security.
Yeah, because you need him to be holding out because it's your only hope that you hold out that this team will be no good.
What good is a security system if it only works when you're at home? I need security when I'm away, Skip Bayless. I need that. 35 million right now and I show up. Or I got to go to Mexico.
How many cases?
Mexico.
How many cases of Diet Dew would you like to bet me right here, right now,
What?
that Zeke is in uniform on September the 8th at 4:25 Eastern?
Oh, he gonna make him sweat a little bit.
Okay.
He make him sweat. They might shoot him a couple of mil up under the table.
Okay.
They take that.
That's against the rules.
Now all of a sudden the NFL must play by rules.
Can't do it.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good to know.
We got this because
No, you
this is, Jerry has some issues when he's trying to put a football team together, but when it comes to figuring out how to pay people, he pays people.
He does that.
He does it to a fault.
You think because Jason Garrett had a meeting in Nantucket with Coach Belichick, you guys got this.
It's an omen. It's an omen. It's a Super Bowl preview.
Oh, you remember that movie, The Omen? Oh, yeah. Okay. So you know.
Watch that one
That was a
again.
scary movie.
Exactly.
Reggie, good stuff. Thank you for joining us. Is there already friction between Russell Westbrook and James Harden? We'll discuss all that next.
No mercy.
The Rockets shook the NBA landscape by trading for Russell Westbrook. Now Russ joins his former OKC teammate James Harden. It may look good on paper, but the two former MVPs are known for being a bit ball dominant. But Harden says everything will be just fine. Take a listen.
When you have talent like that, it works itself out. You know, you communicate and you go out there and you compete, and possession by possession, you figure things out. Throughout the course of the season, you figure things out, and that's just what it is, you know. But when you have talent, you have guys with IQ, you got guys that are willing to sacrifice, it always works itself out.
Well, Shannon, will it work out with these two?
Skip, I think that's a two-pronged question. I believe that it could possibly work out in the regular season because, like you said, they do have some. That's Russ is an MVP, James Harden's an MVP. So you put these two together, you might get some great things happening in the regular season. I don't believe they'll win a championship. But here's the thing, Skip. Was Chris Paul not a great player? Maybe not what he once was, but was he not high basketball IQ? What about Dwight Howard? James Harden fought to get Dwight Howard. James Harden fought to get Chris Paul. You see what's happening here, Skip? He fight to get these players until you actually have to play with these players. The thing is that when you look at James Harden and Russ, they do so much of the exact same thing. They need the ball. Now, Skip, if we had two basketballs, give me these guys right here. But unfortunately, we only have one. And I think that's going to be the problem. You see, I love what James Harden said when you get guys sacrificing. Hey, say nothing about him. We need guys because we got guys that are sacrificed. Yeah. P.J. Tucker, P.J. don't care anything about scoring. He want to shoot them short corner three. He going to stand in the corner, shoot threes, and play tough, tenacious defense on the opposing team, best three, best two. That's what he does. No problem. Clint Capella, you don't even run plays for him. He either go run to the rim, get putbacks, dunk the basketball. Although Draymond Green abused him. So I get that. But at the end of the day, who's going to play off the ball? I don't know how you have 2 point guards when you only have one ball. Is Russ going to be willing to play the majority of the time off the ball, or is James Harden going to be willing to spend the majority of his time off the ball? And we saw how that worked. So I just don't see how this turns into, because you make this move, Skip, this is not about regular season. This is not about 55. This is not about 60 wins. This is about winning a title.
Yep.
And I do not believe the way this team is configured with those two guys, that will happen.
You make a lot of powerful points. Conventional wisdom says you're dead right, because James Harden a couple of years ago set the all-time record for usage rate in a season. Second on that list all-time for usage rate in one single season is Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
2 + 2 equals disaster, right? Okay. One basketball, two high usage rates won't work. I got to tell you, the more I think about this, the more I watch what James Harden and listen to what James Harden had to say finally about it, the more I like it. Because we start with the fact these two did grow up together in this league for the first 3 years, and that's crucial to this equation. I'm not sure that James pushed for Chris Paul. He was open to it, but it sounded like it was a Daryl Morey sort of production to get Chris Paul to Houston.
Well, they wouldn't ask James. I mean, he's their best player.
Okay. I just never got the feeling, and you could be right about this, but I never got the feeling he pushed for it, but he was receptive to it, obviously. And then they spent a whole offseason, a lot of it right up the street here at UCLA, trying to figure out how to play together. And I thought they did a pretty good job of playing together until they nearly killed each other in the end, because they got sick and tired of each other, because Chris Paul is difficult to play with, and we both concluded he is a tough teammate to play with.
Yes.
And you look at his track record, everywhere he's been a tough teammate to deal with.
Correct.
These two truly like each other. These two have a Southern California bond because they're just a year apart, and they grew up through California high school system, and they knew of each other in high school. Then they went their separate ways to UCLA and Arizona State.
Yep.
But they do know that back in their third year together in Oklahoma City, when it all started to come together and they wound up in the NBA Finals, James was coming off the bench and averaged 17 points a game while Russ was averaging 24 a game. They both know that they have each led this league in assists. So they're not just pure gunners, right?
Right.
Don't they both know how to assist the basketball, how to deal it, how to orchestrate?
Yes.
Don't they both have a feel for that?
They do, but as they led the league in assists, they led it separate.
Okay.
I'm the ball dominant guy. I determine who gets the ball. Okay. James Harden is the same way.
All right. So what do they share now? They share some shame because they both have gone through epic fails at the highest level in the brightest, harshest spotlights. Russ failed miserably in Oklahoma City, and James has failed even more miserably in Houston. So they pushed to reunite. They pushed hard on both ends. Both were pushing their management, get us together, get us back together.
Right.
And I believe that together in Houston under Mike D'Antoni, listen, I don't have a lot of respect for him as an in-game strategist or motivator, because I can't even listen to his little chalk talks he gives during timeouts, because it's just silly talk, and I don't think they listen to him. But when he does film study, when he teaches in practice what we can be as an offensive juggernaut, I believe he has offensive genius that if they will listen, he can figure out how with one basketball to make both of them very successful.
How they don't get stops.
Okay? It's not, listen, Russ plays some defense, and James is always among the league leaders in deflection. So he's playing roaming hands-on ball defense. So again, are they going to be a great defensive team? They are not. Are they going to be the Clippers? They're not going to be the Clippers. No. But you do have this going for you. You have a left-handed James Harden, and you have a ball-dominant right-handed Russell Westbrook. So you can attack from left and right.
Right.
And if you are willing, because you've been shamed before in postseasons where you have just flamed out in postseasons, if you're willing at this stage of your career to accept we have to sacrifice for each other to have even a chance to win in the postseason, I think great things could happen to this team in a Western Conference that is wide open.
It ain't wide open.
How do you think?
You know it ain't wide
we
open,
got an
Skip.
aging LeBron.
We know it ain't wide open.
Huh? Aging?
Nah, it ain't wide open.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wide open.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, he's never been
It's
in
about
the
as
spotlight.
It's
before.
about as wide open as the 405 at 3 p.m. How wide open is that?
So
it's jam
closed
packed.
down? Are you saying the Clippers are just going to run away
Now
with it?
you know what I'm talking about. Don't do this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll never-
I don't.
Guess what? We're gonna get them in. We're gonna get them in the Western Conference Finals. Yeah, that's gonna be us and them. We never have a lead.
Clippers, Lakers? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule Houston out of that.
I'm ruling them out. I'm ruling them out.
Really?
I hope we get it. That'd be 4-0 sweep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, so if you're saying if the Lakers face the Rockets in the postseason, they will sweep them. Could we get a couple of cases on that right here?
No,
right
I want
now?
because I want
Right
your team.
now.
I want your team because I wanted to be the Lakers and the Clippers because you got to root for somebody. You got to go for old Kawhi or you got to go for old King.
Maybe
you
I
got to
can,
pick.
maybe I can just be a dispassionate observer.
No.
Maybe I can be objective about it.
We don't do Switzerland up here. Yeah, they don't neutral bullshit up here.
Okay.
You picking one or the other.
Well, maybe I'll root for number 2 for once.
Whoa!
Could you?
Whoa! Skip, after what he did to your Spurs, you said
I'll
he
still call him number 2, but
Hold on. You said after what he did to your Spurs.
yeah.
After you said he
I'll
quit.
never forgive him for
Oh, but you will turn around and root for it?
Well, against he's lesser of evils, right?
Oh, so he's the lesser of the evil.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'd root for him just because they'd be the better team. I don't know.
You don't believe that.
Yeah.
AD on a mission.
AD on a mission has never experienced any kind of pressure like this in his life.
Has Paul George ever experienced any kind of pressure like this in his life? That's why he stayed in OKC, because he didn't want that pressure playing with Goat James.
Yeah, but what's he got on his side? He's got Pat Bev, as you call him. He's got Lou Will, as you call him.
Sure.
He's got Montrez, as you call him.
And which one of those guys, which one of those guys, or the guys that you just mentioned, played in the NBA Finals before? Because we got JaVale that's been in the NBA
Which
2
one
times.
of those guys
Rondo,
contributed
too.
to beating the Golden State Warriors twice at Oracle last year in the first round of the playoffs?
Look.
Which one? All of them contributed to
That was
that.
interesting.
So now all of a sudden, so I love Pat Beverly, but now he's a top 5 point guard. Huh?
Well, he's a top 5 defending point guard.
Yeah, no
I can tell
question.
you that. He might be top 1.
Yeah, he might be.
Okay.
Might be the best on-ball
All right.
defender.
So who's the best defensive team in basketball right here, right now? It's the Clippers by far.
It is.
Okay.
But I just want to know who y'all gonna put on AD. That's all I need to know. Who y'all gonna put
Big
on AD?
Zoo. You love Big Zoo.
I do
You still love him?
Yeah, I love Big Zoo.
Okay.
But he don't want nail there, Anthony.
He doesn't want you?
No.
I don't know about that.
And then we got Big JaVale rim running.
Yeah.
Oh, JaVale only gonna get better. He got a little sample. If he just run and protect the rim, what LeBron will do for him. Take that with you, JaVale.
Well, how many games is LeBron going to actually play?
Don't worry about it. What did I tell you? I said he'll miss somewhere between 10 and 15 games. Skip.
So all of a sudden the Lakers become an X factor because I don't know if they'll gel together because it's going to be all new. New coach? Well, how long will he last? I don't know. Will Golden State come back together around Klay Thompson? Will he be right in March or April?
No,
he might.
No, it ain't.
If he's
Skip,
right,
look,
you better look out.
The Warriors, as we know them, as we love them for the last 3 to 5 years, that's over. That Golden State, this is going to be a different dynamic
Right?
for them.
And that brings me back to the Houston Rockets. Who did they lose to acquire Russell Westbrook? Help me out. They
Nobody.
lost nobody.
Did you see?
They lost nobody.
Did you see what? Hold on. Did you see what Draymond did to Clint Capella at 6'7"?
Okay.
Can you imagine?
Well, now you're going back to my Golden State argument. That's why I'm not writing off Golden State.
But you do know every time my guy see Golden State 6'10" and a half, give him that work, right?
Okay.
And you already know the 6'9" guy. He lost weight. You see him Skip looking good. He down to like 240.
Yeah, but they had to start over on Space Jam.
Don't worry, we talking about Space Jam. We talking
New
about
director,
creative
they had to just
differences.
start completely
You
over.
see him on Taco Tuesday, he getting vegan tacos.
Really?
I did see
Yeah.
that. Is that
Yeah,
a new
on Taco
thing he's
Tuesday,
doing?
vegan.
Invited AD over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
didn't-
bonding, family
Why didn't
bonding.
he invite Brandon Ingram or Lonzo or Josh Hart or
Whoa,
I don't
whoa.
know. Huh,
Cause-
interesting.
We don't get people accustomed to things that they're
Really?
not going to be able to continue.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's how that works, Skip Bayless.
Well, I got to say, I think the Rockets are going to be way better than you think the Rockets are.
Oh, they have a better record than us?
Highly possible.
Highly doubtful.
Yeah.
Highly doubtful.
Yeah. We'll just have to see how they.
I know who won't have a better record than us. broccoli Spurs, they
You
won't.
want to bet on that?
They won't have a better record
I
than
don't
us.
know about that.
I know
They're going to be shockingly good.
they're gonna be shockingly
Surprisingly.
nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to switch gears here. Odell Beckham Jr. gave a riveting interview with GQ. The writer of that story is here, and we have all the details next.
No mercy.
Odell Beckham Jr. did a fascinating interview with GQ. They covered many areas, including Odell's trade to the Browns, all the criticism he receives, how he thought about retiring from football, and how he wants to break Jerry Rice's receiving yards record. The August issue of GQ is out tomorrow, but you can hear all the details right here on Undisputed. And we are joined now by the man that interviewed Odell for GQ, Mark Anthony Green. Welcome to
Welcome.
Undisputed.
How you guys doing?
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming on. Excuse me.
I have known this man for a good while, spent a lot of time around him, and I am here to say that once again, you did a sensational job on this blockbuster GQ cover story.
Thank you.
The intro that you wrote is among your best writing that I have ever read, and the rapport that you obviously established with Odell was riveting to me because it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. Did you feel a connection? Have you known Odell in the past from different cover shoots or anything?
No. So, we had met a few times, but for like 2 seconds. And one thing that we really, really try to do, especially the new GQ, so we have a new editor-in-chief started in January, Will Welsh. And one thing that he's so passionate about is giving our favorite, most interesting people, athletes, actors, musicians, whoever, a space to have an honest, sometimes difficult conversation.
Correct.
And I think that's so important, especially for athletes, because they have to speak to media constantly. And, there's a huge difference between what we do at GQ, what you guys do here, and what, like the beat reporter at the
Sure.
Cleveland Gazette. Yeah, and I think that you guys are entertainers and provocateurs, and it's the most provocative man on the airwaves. But I think that I'm really grateful that he came and that we could have an honest conversation, and he was willing to talk about anything, and he was really thoughtful about it. I genuinely think that this is the best look at who he is, which is our goal for every profiler. And I appreciate the kind words, but there's an entire team of people equally, if not more talented than me at GQ. So
He is the most provocative athlete of recent times.
they say
to
he's the
me.
Skip Bayless of the NFL.
Okay, well,
That's
maybe
what
they
I
say
call it.
that. So
what I mean?
let me jump in and start
Go
from
ahead.
the start. In your intro, this is the key detail of this story because this is a constant theme on this show.
Okay.
What is the hood ornament on his rolls, his orange rolls, which
Yeah.
he picked out before the trade? And
Yeah.
It just happened to come out, as you described it, sort of tangerine orange,
Yeah.
snooky, right?
I said it was between electric tangerine and Snooki.
Okay. I like that. That might have been the best line in
Yeah.
the piece, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is that hood ornament? It's a chrome figurine of the catch.
Yeah.
What dominates this whole piece to me? The catch. What has shaped the psyche and the Instagram following of one Odell Beckham Jr. from the start? It was the catch, correct? So in your eyes, having sat with them for all the time that you sat, describe what the catch means to Odell.
If we could zero in on Skip's sneakers right now,
can
he's
do
got on a pair of Jordan 11s, and on the bottom of them it has a Jumpman logo.
Okay?
When Michael Jordan played every game after he jumped from the free throw line, do you think he was thinking about that? No.
No.
So why are we holding Odell to a standard that we haven't held any other athlete to? He did something that was remarkable, one of the greatest catches in football history. It became a symbol for him. It is a branding thing. Nike uses it. I don't think it's anything more than that. And if I had to make that catch, I probably couldn't afford a Bentley, but like a Volvo, I'd put it on my Volvo.
But let me ask you a question.
You know?
Michael Jordan jumped from the free throw line. He loses that dunk competition. Are we still looking at that logo the same?
Probably
Because he
not.
lost that game. Because
Probably not.
Okay,
But-
so here's what, before you go any further, Skip, and this is what I've told you. And Skip and I, we go back and forth with this, and Skip's like, you know what, you might be on to something. They lost that game.
Okay.
Why is it that when people point out that was a hell of a catch, Odell, but you lost the game, when did fact become hate?
No, I don't think. I think saying that is fair, but people say a lot more than that, and that's not what he just said.
Yeah.
So we got to stick.
Yeah.
What he said is he too preoccupied with it. My answer is no.
Right.
Did he lose that game? Yeah, he lost that game.
But
do I
he's-
think it matters? Not really.
He said in the article, they pointed out. He said this, and you said this is the most clear of indication of who Odell Beckham is.
Yeah.
When people point out to Odell Beckham, you made a hell of a catch, Odell,
Yeah.
but you lost the game. He said they are hating. Why is telling the truth labeled hate?
I think he's talking in the context of what he's saying. He's talking about constantly bringing up something negative and him celebrating the thing. I don't think he's ever said and I'd have to go through and look. I don't think he's ever said we won that game.
No.
So in him celebrating that, it should be like if I were to say, hey man, you look really nice, but your hands are ashy.
Right.
Why would I need to bring out that
Yeah.
your hands are ashy? It was like, yo, your suit is
But if
really
I make
nice.
a good
like that.
argument, if you make it a good argument, okay, you like your hands can be ashy, but that was a great argument. But look what he did. I don't know, but if Jordan had lost, would that have been Jordan's logo? Because like you said, that's his brand.
I think it still would have been his logo.
You think so?
I absolutely think. I don't think if Jordan lost the slam dunk contest, it would be celebrated the way it is. Just like I don't think we celebrate Odell's Jumpman logo too much. I don't see anybody here wearing it. I see Jumpman logo on his feet. I'm saying
Right.
I think that it's celebrated proportionally, which is for him in his career and in modern day football, it's one of the most exciting things we've seen.
Good.
And I think it gets just the right amount of love and attention.
So I've said from the start about Odell, I think he has a good heart, and I kind of divide the world into good heart, not good heart.
Yeah.
But his priorities always seem slightly out of whack, and it did start with that catch, which came early in his career, and it set the Instagram table for an image he had to continue to live up to.
Right.
And the image did not include winning championships. He tells you occasionally in this piece, yes, my goal is to win Super Bowls. But at the end of the piece, he goes so far as to say, you're asking him, well, could you play maybe, could you see 10 more years? Or until I pass Jerry Rice. That's 23,000 yards. He is so far behind Jerry Rice, he would have to have 12 straight career years, if I go off his career best of 1,500 yards, to pass Jerry Rice. Well, now you're warped in your viewpoint because it's, again, a solo act goal that seems to be his priority in football right now is to
Right.
pass Jerry Rice. Are you
Right.
with me?
I'm 100% with you.
Okay.
Well, let me point out one thing, which I thought was a really telling part, where he talked about Odell, he could have played soccer, football. He could have played basketball.
Hey, he could have played baseball.
He could have played baseball. And if you look at his golf swing,
It's beautiful.
heck of a golf swing.
It's beautiful.
And he talks about how, football is a sport, the only sport of its kind, to where you can lose a game and offensively, if you're on offense, have a perfect game. You could
Right.
still lose. And you know that, being on the field.
Because you're dependent
So-
on
You're dependent upon others. So him having a personal goal, the only thing that he could control, we're here to say, shame on you for having that personal
I'm
goal.
not saying
Or
shame,
that
it's
he's
just-
preoccupied with being selfish.
But I think what Skip is alluding to, of all the sports, he could have played golf. He could have played tennis.
Right.
He chose a team sport, but he wants to be an individual. Because I look at here, he says, we're getting primetime games still as a 5-11 team. Why? Because people want to see me.
Yeah.
Okay, there's
He's
some
not
truth-
wrong.
there's some truth
What
to that.
about
I'm not-
that's
I'm-
wrong?
But I'm saying 5-11, that's what's wrong.
Listen, you said earlier, and I
Yes.
agree, you said earlier, the NFL is an entertainment business,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Few things in the NFL are more entertaining than Odell Beckham Jr. He's not wrong when he says that.
I'm not-
You were pointing out,
Yeah.
if you say something that's factual, you should let that ride.
Although
that's
last
a
year,
factual
you know what?
statement.
Saquon got pretty entertaining
Entertaining?
last year.
He
right?
was also entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? You do a lot of these stories and you entertain us. What in the entertainment say movies?
Okay.
If you do movies, what's the ultimate goal? You want to win an Oscar. If you do
It depends on who you talk to.
if you play a team sport, yes, you want to make a lot of money and have a lot of memories.
Yeah.
But if you play a team sport, if the championship is not the end all be all, you bull jabbing. You wasting my time.
He says 90 times in the piece he wants to win a Super Bowl, and that's
But-
the end all be. That's all he can say
But-
to make y'all happy.
No. He can make me happy with his behavior. I don't know how his behavior on the field is conducive for winning championships. Name the guy that's won a championship that exhibited his type of behavior on the field.
On the field?
Yes.
He's sometimes great, sometimes bad. I think every player is.
No. I'm not talking about the game per
You're
se.
talking about when he kicks a field goal.
No, I'm like the unsportsmanlike
kicks the goal.
conduct for the behavior that he displayed against Carolina.
So what you're saying is that there's no champion that's ever ever been over passionate or being upset.
See, that's how you label it as passion.
I 1,000% label it as being over passionate. Yeah. But again, guys, think about the thing you're asking for.
What?
We're saying that, okay, he's not focused on the game of football.
No, I didn't say that.
That's exactly what the context is, that he's not focused on the game of football. He's focused, that's what Skip said, everything around it. And we're begging him to be passionate. We're begging him to care about football. And he makes a mistake, and he's passionate about that. And so he kicks something, or he yells, or he does something that we deem as unsportsmanlike conduct. And all I'm saying is man, that seems like a lose-lose situation.
How many mistakes does he get to make before say, you know what? That's who he is.
I don't deem them mistakes.
Well, you just said they were mistakes.
He didn't. Well, the mistakes in your eyes. I don't do mistakes. I think he got upset and kicked something. I believe in individuality. I think the game of football needs
kicking the
more
net on the
individual.
sideline doesn't cost me 15 yards. His behavior that he exhibited in Carolina cost me yards. That cost me plays. That cost me.
Yeah, he also has made plays. He's gotten them. I mean, I'm saying that this is in the realm of the game of football. You know, if there's a penalty for it, then it's in the rules.
Okay, Mark Anthony, allow me.
You know what I mean?
Allow me to defend this man across from me. You were arguing with
Okay,
right
he
now.
needs it.
He played a dependent position called tight end.
Yeah.
Similar to what Odell
You were
is
great.
stuck playing.
Yeah.
And yet he was one of the great team leaders in the history of the game, which is in part why he is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Was he as gifted as Odell at his position? Close, but not quite.
No.
But because Odell's, listen, on all-around athletic gifts, he's up there with Dion to me in gifts.
Yeah, he has it all.
He's got it up there.
He got it all.
Okay, so the point is, when you have the declaration from him that shocks you in the piece where he says he told his mom at some point a couple of years ago, would you be okay if I'm done? You know, if I stop playing football?
Yeah.
Because he probably belonged playing another game. Seriously.
Yeah.
We've gone through this with Terrell Owens where you're stuck playing a dependent position and you can't.
Right.
You want to be a solo star and,
Right.
and Terrell wishes he had played more basketball.
Right.
Well, maybe Odell would have been better at baseball or golf or any.
Or
he could have.
where he can be more of an individual as
yes.
relying so much on the
Okay.
team. On the team.
Okay? Because this is the ultimate team game you are stuck in. And you are really good at it, but you can't get it through your head that when you finally get to go play a playoff game at Lambeau, you can't lead your receivers down to South Beach to get ready for the game on the frozen tundra, which he did. Okay,
that was a mistake. That
not
was
the
stupid.
smartest thing. And then,
That was stupid.
Then he tries to defend himself in the piece, and it's the quotes are potent, but they make you sit back and say, wait a second, because he's saying, do you realize they only threw me 7 balls in the Green Bay game? Well, do you realize, Odell, that the first one they threw to you was 3rd and 5 and he dropped it, hit him right in the hands?
Yeah.
Okay? You can't defend that because they did get blown out and the defense did give up whatever it was, 40-odd
30,
points.
35 or something.
Yeah. The one thing I say about that is if that's your guy, you keep throwing the ball to him. I mean,
Okay.
Again,
I think they tried too early and then it just.
But how many?
Nah, it don't work like that. I'm saying everybody listening to this, everybody here, we have a job, right? And you three are the best at what you do.
Right.
If you started off today, you got to start at what, 6:30 in the morning?
4.
4. Sorry, yeah, you start. I mean, you got to start so
Meetings.
early.
Yeah.
So let's say when you go on air, let's say you start at 6:30.
Yeah.
From 6:30 to 7, Shannon's a little weak. You
That
don't stop
happens.
asking
That
them
happens
questions.
occasionally. Yeah.
This is Shannon Sharpe. You keep throwing this
I
man
do.
the ball.
Okay.
And I'm saying Odell's at work. Odell is your franchise player. It's one of the highest paid to ever do it.
We throw him through it. They
Throw him the ball.
They threw him 7 balls.
And they threw him 7,
Okay,
and that was a
four
mistake.
back at him. He threw 4 back at him.
It's a mistake. It was a mistake. They should have thrown you. That's how you win.
Is it how much money you make or how much you keep? Are you gonna count the balls they threw at him or how many did he catch?
When he hits you with these, how do you go back? I don't even know.
We tried.
What was that parable? What was that?
You're on your own.
We have so much more to get to here, but we do have to take a quick break. So much more with Mark Anthony. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Mark Anthony Green of GQ is still with us. He interviewed Odell Beckham Jr., and one of the topics was the criticism Odell receives from black gossip websites who talk about his personal life. Odell said this: "It makes it worse when it comes from the black community. I feel like everything is a double standard. You want us to support the black community, and then you go out and bash black people for being happy. I always try to keep my personal life. I feel like I don't owe that to anybody." So, Mark, did it surprise you how open Odell was in talking about this subject?
I guess it was surprising. I mean, I think that specifically in that quote we were talking about is, TMZ, all of these websites obviously are following him around. But if you look at some of the black gossip websites in particular, they were fixated on this idea that he was gay. And I do think that it plays into this idea of, obviously saying somebody's gay is not homophobic, or is it an insult? But when you are constantly saying just because he's hanging out with some male friends, or just because he's dancing, which was the root of a lot of it, and that's no longer seen as masculine, or that's, I do think that starts to play into this idea of homophobia, and, the world has a long way to go with LGBTQ rights. We know that, and things are bad. And I think the black community has always had a really backwards relationship when it comes to homophobia. And so I do think you kind of saw that. And again, it was something that he had never been asked before, but I had seen it so much on my timeline, and on these sites.
He seemed to welcome your question, though. He said, "This is the first time I've been."
Yeah, and I think it's it's a thing that is so important to us at GQ of like, we're not trying to, there's no gotcha questions. We're not trying to stick you on something, but come to us to have an honest conversation, and for us to give you a safe place to truly express how you feel. And you could be wrong. You could have made the mistake, but I think that the way he answered it was super thoughtful, and he said a million times, like, I think another reason he didn't address this because he's like, I love my friends and family in this community, and I don't want it to seem like I'm,
and he shouldn't have to offer an explanation
exactly
for who he hang out with. The thing is, Skip, I get that a lot too.
Yeah.
People say because they've never seen me post a female, all I post is my food and my dogs.
Yeah.
So I'm a single. They don't see what they don't see.
Right.
People start to speculate. Right. But I'm cool. I don't need to explain my orientation to anybody.
Yeah.
I'm good with who I am and what I am.
Right.
But that is, we are so, support black businesses and do black owned and do
100%.
And we are sometimes our biggest critic and our biggest enemy. Because we see this a lot with Kamala Harris. She's not black enough. With no other race of people normally label their own race as being, you don't hear Asian people say, well, he's not Asian enough, he's not Asian enough, or he's not white enough. Yeah. But we do that with us. And Odell is 100% right. They want us to embrace us, but they attack us for being us.
Yeah.
What difference does it make what Odell like or doesn't like? He has a job. His job is to be an NFL football player, and he's a damn good one at that.
Right.
So to question his manhood, I don't understand that.
Well, and I don't even know if it's a question of manhood. I do think that one fair criticism of the black community is to say, well, what are you doing to help the black community? What are you doing to help your community? And
well, that doesn't help.
But I'm saying that doesn't help, right? That doesn't help at all. It also is not the criticism that anyone on those sites is making of Odell.
Right.
So, I think that if you make that of Kamala Harris, or if you make that of whoever, LeBron James or whatever, I think that, I think that's a fair thing to ask. And I do think that, as a black man, I do think I owe my community something. I feel that personally. I don't put that on other people.
Yeah, but
I don't.
You don't owe them an explanation
Oh,
about
no,
your
no,
orientation
not at
or
all.
what have you
Not
done.
at all, not at all.
But
no.
didn't it sound, at least it sounded to me, like the gay slurs from the Carolina Panthers sent him over the edge during that football game?
I don't think that had anything to do. I mean, let me say, we didn't talk about that. I actually didn't even think about it. I think that, if anything, he has heard gay slurs so much. And again, I want to make sure that we're very clear. Saying somebody's gay isn't a slur.
Right.
Okay? That's not a slur. So I think that anything that he would have heard at that Carolina game, I think he was well positioned for because of these sites.
I think it's perceived because you play a masculine sport like football, being labeled that, then it becomes questioning your man.
And that for us at GQ, that's such an interesting topic that, in this new era, we've tried to really wrap our heads around of like the idea of masculinity in 2019.
Bottom line, I highly recommend reading this piece.
It's
a great
online
read.
right
So
now.
much.
Way to go.
Yeah, the
Good
new
job,
issue
bro.
of GQ
Thank you.
available tomorrow.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you.
Mark
Thanks for
Anthony
coming.
Green. Thank you for being here. Fascinating stuff. Nice work.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. LeBron is currently filming Space Jam 2, but moving forward, it will be with a new director. Deadline reports there were, quote, different takes on the creative vision between the director and the producers, which includes LeBron. Shannon, what do you make of this?
Well, we have creative differences.
Oh, that
So,
happened.
it wasn't working out. But Malcolm Lee, I like him. He directed one of the great funny movies of all time, Girl Trip, with Tiffany Haddish, Queen Latifah, and Jada Pinkett. So I'm Jada Pinkett Smith. So I'm good with this. Look, we don't normally see this skip get this far into the can and then switch directions. But hey, this is what it needs to do to have a blockbuster.
Boy,
So we got a blockbuster on our hands.
Sounds like LeBron got another head coach fired.
Oh,
right?
my
Didn't it
goodness.
sound like that? Didn't it sound like creative differences? I'm not on the same page. You're out, he's in. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that means it's a big setback in production where you have to kind of start over, and that means more time spent in off season on making movie, less time on getting ready for next season.
He already done got that time up. He got them shots up this morning at 5 a.m.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. So happy to be back with you guys. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. See you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.